Whitehead. It's gold for Great Britain.
That intro always makes me smile. What about you, Helen?
I literally was about to say that. I love that intro. We had a fun time doing all those pictures as well. It was a good laugh.
Definitely. It's nice to see everybody starting to come on, and we're going to obviously wait for people to engage with us live, but we're going to just say some welcomes, and welcome to all the teachers, schools and students and parents obviously that are coming on to listen to our live today. It's great that you're able to join us. It's obviously really tough at the moment with the pandemic, but we thought we'd bring a smile to your face and look at some of the issues that maybe that you as parents and students are actually contending with at the moment, such as mental health, physical well-being and emotional support. So fire any of those questions over. Don't forget to add your school and your name with any of those questions. And what have you actually been up to over the last couple of weeks, Alan?
Well, Rich, thank you again for everyone that is starting to join in. Myself and Rich have been speaking about it for a little while, and we really wanted to get schools and children and parents and teachers involved. So thank you so much for coming on and joining us. But yeah, so for me, really, it's a weird one, really. Obviously, we're all living in a global pandemic. We're all in lockdown at the moment, so it is a little bit weird. But I feel really lucky that I'm able to go and train with my club, Man City, and we're able to play matches. So yeah, I feel really lucky and really privileged. And for me,
it's tough at the moment, isn't it? For those
it is
that
really
aren't
tough.
Training.
Exactly. And for me, I think I really like a routine. So whether that is being able to go out and train, but then also when we were in that first lockdown, just trying to get a routine at home, getting up, doing a little bit of exercise, work. I think that was really important. And also for me, building Lego has been quite cool as well for me, like
Lego?
Mentally. Exactly.
Talk to us about Lego.
For some reason, I love Lego. I'm a big fan. And if you're a Harry Potter fan, I've been doing the Diagon Alley, so that's been really cool. My husband got me it for Christmas. So yeah, that one's been a nice like mental escapism for me. Not to think about anything.
Any new projects? Any new Lego projects?
Big shout out to Lego. But I haven't got any more at the moment, so
I think she's looking for suggestions. Anybody that's got any suggestions on Lego projects or pictures, please send them in.
Please comment. I'd love to have another Lego project. I also did a jigsaw, but I kind of gave up. My husband did that. But yeah. Rich, what about you? I know that you've been away doing warm weather training. Like, tell everyone about that.
Yeah, I've been to South Africa. So those that are at home or school, and you've got a map near you, have a look how far South Africa is away from where we are at the moment. And I was in a place in Stellenbosch, just north of Cape Town, so about 11 hours on a plane. So flew out there to continue my training and preparation towards Tokyo. Why do you say? Well, the weather here is obviously not great. It's the weather's been very cold, but also the tracks have been icy, so I've not been able to run at all. So for me to continue my preparation towards the games, I've had to travel away. And we normally do that every year in the month of January, because obviously that's when the bad weather is in the UK. And it's gone really well. Enjoyed being kind of with my coach and my other international athlete, Kimberly, and getting some real good quality sessions. Everything's looking good in the preparation towards the summer. But let's hope that we have the games, the Olympics and Paralympics, because I feel it brings a lot of us together, but also gives us a little bit of happiness that we need. And that's what, when I watch obviously yourself, Ellen, and the other professional athletes when they're competing, it definitely does bring us together. Sport is a great tool to do that, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that we're really kind of lucky to be doing what we're doing, and obviously with Trackable Podcast as well. It's exciting to be bringing a little bit of happiness as well into people's lives. Should we do some shout outs as well?
Yeah, can do. We've got loads of people, loads are coming in, haven't we? And I know that we have young people and parents and teachers from not just in the UK. We've got people from Lebanon, Beirut. We've got people from South Africa. and obviously from Nottingham where I am, and Manchester and Norfolk. Hello Olivia, how are you? Hockingham Primary, brilliant that you're engaging. Keep the questions coming in. Mark, our producer, will fire those questions through. We've got loads that were sent, and all those questions will be answered by myself and Ellen. If not on the live, we'll send you a personal message to your school or to you individually. But make sure that you write your name and your school so that we can make sure it comes to you. Right,
should we get on with one question that we've been sent so far?
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, we've got loads.
We've got so many, yeah.
Yeah, haven't we? Yeah. And this is the reason why we've actually done the podcast, especially for those parents and teachers and children that are struggling at the moment. We just really want to engage with you, and if there's any sports personalities that you want us to interview, or even if there's any subjects that you want us to delve into, I think it's really important that we're able to do that. And also, you feel that you can engage with us, especially that we're going to be going to the Olympics and Paralympics this year, hopefully, and it'd be great to have you on the journey with us too.
Okay, so I'll start us off. So this is from Ben and Luca Schiller from St Austin's Catholic Primary School in Norwich. So they're saying, what is your earliest childhood memory?
That's a tough one for me because I'm old.
Yeah, can you remember that?
I can't remember what I did last week. I think sporting wise. So I'll talk about sporting wise and then maybe school wise. So I remember having a really tough time when I was younger with like PE and swimming and gymnastics because there were some obstacles and challenges for me to overcome as a youngster, but I was really determined and really focused, and my parents supported me in that as well. And I remember feeling a bit upset because I couldn't travel down the bars in the gym, and I remember the teacher saying, well, you're going to really struggle with this because of your prosthetic legs, and I felt that I could do it. So I had a go, and the enjoyment I got by getting to the other end, and all the other my classmates clapping me, I think it's a great moment. Sports gives you that individual moment, and whether you've got an ability or disability or challenge or obstacle, I think it's always really important to have a real good go, but also have the support around you. So that was one of them, definitely. What about you, Ellen?
I think mine is just kind of playing football in the backyard and with my dad and my brother, and obviously in a West Ham shirt as well. My brother, he was really good, definitely really good. And if he'd continued, I think he would have been amazing. But yeah, my dad will say that I got all my skills from him as well. So, but yeah, it would just be playing football, having fun in the garden, West Ham shirt, trying to be a West Ham player. So yeah.
Did you have like a poster on your wall as well?
I did actually. It's quite a random one. I don't know if I'm hoping everyone watching might know who this player is. It was Edgar Davids. He used to play for Holland, and he used to. And Spurs. And basically, I used to wear glasses, which I do now. I started wearing them just before I was 2 years old, actually, so I was quite young. And he wore like glasses while he played football, so he had like plastic ones that kind of went round. And I really thought he was cool, and I thought like that was similar to me. Like I had to wear glasses as well, and I just loved the way that he kind of played football. And I was a big fan of Holland back then as well.
And there's a great message there about seeing is believing. When we talk about role models within school, within sport, within life, seeing is believing. So when we're looking for role models as young people or adults or teachers, it's really important that we can gravitate towards somebody that has those positive messages, but also we can have empathy with that person. And you talking about Edgar, it's a great message. For me, it was somebody that I associated with called Terry Fox, a runner from Canada. And but sport does that. It empowers you, and it also gives you that lift when maybe you're feeling you've got those obstacles to overcome.
Yeah,
it's a great question.
Thanks Ben and Luca for that one. Do you want to do the next one, Rich?
Okay, so we go on to Emily. So
yes.
Hi, Rich. I have cerebral palsy, and people are sometimes mean to me. sorry about that, Emily. That's terrible. And don't get me involved in the games. Did you ever experience this when you're growing up? Any advice to giving people through this? Well, obviously, those are the people that have the problem, Emily, and it's about having the support of your fellow parents and teachers, but also understanding that everybody's different in some way, and whether you've got an ability, a disability, and with your cerebral palsy, it's about dreaming big. Anything's possible, and I'm sure those obstacles and challenges will be overcome with support with your parents and teachers and friends. But it's about staying positive and believing in yourself, but also remembering that they've got the problem, not you, is really important. Yeah, thanks for the question, Emily. It's really important. Emily, aged 8 from Mattisall Primary School. Great question.
Thank you, Emily, for that question. That's I hope Rich helped, because that was that's something that's really great and that needs to be spoken more about. And obviously, try and remain positive. But thank you so much. Now we've got some questions from Royal Alexandra and Albert School. This is from Andrea Anso. So what made you want to play football for your career? So Rich, could you what made you want to play football?
Go on, Els.
Basically, I absolutely loved it. I think I said earlier about what was my earliest childhood memory was playing football in the garden. I just absolutely loved playing football. I played football with my friends as well, in my local kind of primary school, in my local kind of boys team. And I just loved being part of a team. I just absolutely loved it. And for me, it's just a passion, and just, smiling, having fun, surrounded by my friends as well. So that's probably the main reason I wanted to.
Did you have any obstacles being a girl playing in a boys team, or a mainly boys team at that age?
To be honest, all the boys that were on my team were amazing, really great friends. It was probably just the opposition teams or parents that when we'd turn up and I'd be the only girl in the team, they'd be like, "Why is she playing football?" And then I think I just ran around and then scored. So then they're like, "Oh, okay." But it wasn't too much, to be fair. I'm okay. No, I feel like I felt really part of the team. I never felt out of the team, being just the only girl in a boys team. So I felt like I was surrounded by really great people and really supported.
There's a question at the bottom from What on Earth? You said one of your earliest memories was playing football, and Isaac, aged 10, wants to know when you first played for a team, and who was it?
So I think I first played for my primary school. So I must have been about 5 or 6. And it was like a middle school as well. And then I played for my local boys team, Aylesbury Town, and that must have been when I was probably 6 or 7. I was quite young, but I absolutely loved it. And my dad set up like a little soccer centre for me to kind of get involved in, and then I kind of moved into a boys team. But like, for instance, like Rich, when did you first kind of get involved in like a sport, or essentially when you moved into kind of athletics?
1950s. So I started sport in it was swimming and gymnastics for me. I went to an all boys gymnastics school called Daco Flying Angels, which they're a gymnastics display team, and they taught me like discipline and self-awareness, body awareness, etc. And then I started to swim when I was 4. And obviously, going back to some of the mental health issues that we're talking about with Mental Health Week, it was quite a tough time for a person with a disability, because there wasn't an inclusion spectrum, and I was learning all the time. So I went to an all boys mainstream gymnastics club, but then went to a disability specific swimming club, and the kind of how I was treated was different. But now I think with the coaches and teachers being more informed about different disabilities and their abilities, not their disabilities, it's definitely changed the aspect to what pupils can and can't do. And for me, it was a tough time. And I think nowadays we have more support, more guidance, and also signposting to organisations that can help. And that's the same with obviously women's football with obviously the FA, WFA, and for obviously Paralympic sport, the BPA. So if there's any signposting that you need out there for any of your questions, feel free to fire those over and we can answer those as well.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Andrea, and also Isaac for the question that you said as well. Do you want to ask the next one?
Yeah. Well, I wanted to ask you a question that came in actually from William Knight. He's aged 9 from Royal Alexandra and Albert School, and he wanted to know when you made your debut for England and how did that feel?
Yeah, obviously that's like a dream come true, really. It was amazing. I made it against kind of Austria. And it was an amazing kind of occasion, really. I came on with about 30 minutes to go. I was very nervous. So, for everyone kind of listening or watching, it's okay to feel nervous. For me, I felt ready, but obviously I was very nervous on the sidelines. But I absolutely enjoyed it. All my teammates were amazing. The head coach at the time, Hope Powell, was great, and I scored on my debut as well. So
Wow.
yeah, and also your emotions can get kind of override what's happening, and I did a front slide when I scored, so it's called a Klinsmann. So that was quite fun as well. So yeah, for me it was an absolute dream. And I'm like, what about for you, kind of, Rich? What was it like when you went to like your first Paralympics?
Yeah, I went to the Winter Paralympics 2006. A lot of people don't know that, so I've been to 3 Paralympics, 2 summer, 1 winter. Experience on the first Paralympics wasn't that great. We were 5th in the world. We went there to win a medal. We came nowhere near, to be honest, just because of team dynamics. And those that are in their classroom now or at home, lessons from that is we all need to work as a team, because that's how we become successful. And we weren't then. But I learned some valuable messages from that, and that's that I need to try hard, I need to be dedicated, resilience is really important, but also support people around you that are supporting you as well. And I became a lot better communicator because of that. And then I went to London, and obviously we know I won. Wait a minute, where's the medal? Here it comes. Here it comes. The medal comes out. I wasn't planning to do this, but you mentioned it. There it is.
You know what? I do joke about it, but every time you kind of show it,
coaster.
It is incredible. What you achieved to get that gold medal is amazing.
8,000 people, right?
Oh, like tell us that feeling actually at London 2012.
Yeah, it's an out of body experience where you just go crazy. Like when you see me finish, and I'm kind of like delirious. Really, I don't know what to do because I've worked so hard. If you're at school or at home and you've done a piece of work and you're really proud about that piece of work, and you spent so much time, then you want to celebrate with people. I was lucky enough to have 80,000 people to do that with. so yeah, it's important to celebrate, especially in times like at the moment, haven't we? And it's lockdown at the moment. So if you've got any lockdown questions that we can kind of answer, then I think we've got one coming in from Hassan. How do you practice during lockdown? Ellen, for you first.
So I'm lucky, obviously, that I've been able to go to train at Man City. But say during the first lockdown, it was quite challenging, actually, especially when we were only allowed to go out for like 1 hour a day. So yeah, I kind of had to do it in my garden. Banging a ball against the house wasn't the best thing, but I was just out in the garden.
It's going back to basics, isn't it? Really, that's and I think that's what's with professional sport, with sport generally. Where there's a will, there's a way. So if you're not able to go to your football sessions down at your local team, then maybe just practicing your skills in your garden. I know obviously parents don't want you to be doing it in the house, but there's still little things inside you can do, maybe some stretching, maybe some little circuits you can do at home. Physical health is really important as well as mental health. And what we're finding is a lot of young people are reaching out to us about maybe some strategies in lockdown that we can utilise. And things like doing some Pilates, spending quality time with family, reading books, jigsaws, Lego, like Ellen obviously spoke about.
Yeah.
Just keeping that mind active as well as physically as well. How do you use
when you keep yourself physically well in lockdown? I think that's we kind of did cover that, but for me it was just about trying to get a routine, and obviously we know that everyone is spending a lot of their time in their homes at the moment, a lot on kind of screens, on TVs. However, you're kind of spending your lockdown, also homeschooling as well, like we know a lot of you watching are doing. So I think it's important to take little breaks, even every hour, like take 15 minutes, whether you just running on the spot, doing something, going out for a walk, and just move and separate yourself from your screen is really important, just to have that time mentally away from it. So yeah, like I say, go get a walk, or if you're lucky enough to have a garden, do a little circuit out there, or if you play football or anything, like some little skills out there. But I think it's important just to step away from those screens.
And feel like you can have time with other people, communicate with other people, and if you do feeling like you need to have some time to yourself and mentally, kind of, if you have got some issues around your mental well-being, don't feel like it's an illness. It's not. It's something you need to be supported with. It's not something. It's important. Remember, it's important. And also to have support. There's people out there that can support you with this. Hi, Ellen and Richard. Hi, Ellen and Richard. Never miss an episode from France. That's awesome, Alexandria. That's great. We've got some great followers from all over the world, and really appreciate your support. Remember, any guests that you want to have on the show or any questions, please fire them in, and we can definitely address them. We don't have all the answers, but we can definitely signpost you through support. We had a great question about how are we feeling in lockdown, which I had this morning, mentally and physically. I think for me it's been. I've got two young children, and my partner works hard with their homeschooling and allows me to do my sport myself. But what about yourself, Ellen? What kind of feelings are you having in lockdown, and what kind of support do you get from your team and your family?
Obviously, I feel like I'm having similar feelings to everyone else. Obviously, it is quite scary at the moment. It's very different to what we used to. We're not being able to see as many people as we used to. For instance, those kind of watching at the moment, you're kind of going into school normally, but you're not able to see your school friends. You're not able to have that interaction and social aspect, or see like family members, and I feel exactly the same. For Christmas I wasn't able to see my family. My husband was the same. So yeah, you are kind of worried, and it is sad, and you get emotional not being able to see those people. So for me, it's just trying to get that connection of having video calls, having chats. Me and Rich talk a lot as well, and I think having different conversations is really important. So telling people how you feel is important, getting it off your chest. I think that's a really
complex feelings at the moment. We've all got them, and just realizing it's not a fixed state. It's not like fake news, and it's not about feeling good all the time. And the news is tough. I think when I went away for 3.5 weeks to South Africa, I kind of distanced myself from the news, and I felt so much better about myself. Read a lot and kind of really removed myself from reality. We know there's a pandemic going on, and lots of people are getting very, very sick and still dying. It's really important that we abide by the government rules, but also if we need that conversation, if we need that help, it's really important to reach out either to ourselves at Track and Ball or your family and friends. There's always somebody that will be able to listen to you, and also somebody that will help. Okay, let's go back to the questions. Let's jump on one. I'll go for the next one.
Go on, you go for it.
Okay, so William King at Repham Primary School. How many hours do you train each day, Ellen? How many hours do you train?
That is a great question. So for me, I probably do maybe 3 hours, 3.5 hours, maybe a day. But then I also do like stretching, foam rolling, and that type of thing on top of that, really. So yeah, what that consists of is like gym work, which is normally about an hour, and then we're normally on the pitch for about an hour and a half, maybe a bit more. Depends if I want to do some more shooting, because then I stay out for a bit longer, which is more fun. But yeah, probably about 3 hours. What about yourself, Rich?
Yeah, so I at the moment I'm actually quarantined till Monday, so I'm having to do a lot of stuff at home. I've got a treadmill, luckily, and some other machines at home which enable me to train. I do probably about 35 hours of training a week. So depending on what day I am, Monday, Wednesday, Friday are my track days, and that consists of me going there doing lots of things like stretching, activation, running on the track, as well as treatment, acupuncture, soft tissue massage. So lots of work goes into being a professional athlete, just as it does for any profession, really. I had a question about which event do I like, also from Reapen Primary School, and that was it was which event do you like the best, long or short distance, and is it difficult to make the change from one to another? So it's kind of like you, Ellen, when you're having to do a short run to a long run. Obviously, you have to. For me, I have to train for both, but specifically at the moment, I'm doing sprints. So it's about explosive movements. But I love marathon running, and not a lot of people say they do. 26.2 miles is a long way to run, but the enjoyment that I get from it, from being able to do that and doing it quite quickly, surpasses what I do on the track. Even though I love obviously running in the Paralympics in the 200 meters.
Yeah.
What about you, Els? What's your preferred? Are you sprint or endurance?
I do like. It sounds a bit silly, but I do like not the pain, but I like the feeling you get of endurance, of the feeling afterwards. I also do like sprint work, but I need a bit more time to get a bit faster. I'm not absolutely rapid over 5 or 10 meters, so I need a little bit longer. But I do like, that's why I like playing football, because it is kind of an endurance sport. You are playing for 90. Yeah, you're using so many different aspects: speed, agility. Yeah, like change of direction, short, sharp speed, longer distances. It's aerobic, anaerobic, endurance. So it's a lot kind of built into the sport, which I like. So many like different variants, really.
Aspects of it, yeah, and I think that's the good thing about training. Generally, there's so many different aspects of it.
Yeah.
For those that have maybe first time to Track and Board podcast, remember to subscribe and tell parents, tell other students about what we're doing, and we're going to go to some more questions. These are coming in from YouTube and Facebook. So
this is from Maya. What strategies do you use when you're not feeling your best? And this is from Lebanon. Thank you for joining us.
So, like I say, we're in international podcast, and lucky enough that I've been over to Lebanon. It's a beautiful country. And what was the question again? It was about strategies, wasn't it? Sorry. Yeah. What strategy?
When you're not feeling your best.
Yeah, I think it's really important to have that routine. So have a routine, and then to have coping mechanisms when you're not. So if you're waking up in the morning, feeling a bit lethargic, under the weather, it's about understanding what the task is today. And if the task is quite a tough one, or complex, or big task, then try and break that down into small, achievable chunks. And for me, it's just about getting up out of bed in a positive mood, and like I say, just kind of having those tools that from that toolkit that you've built up, and with a smile on your face, and positive things happens to positive people. So it's really important that you don't think it's a big, non-achievable task, that it's something that when broken down, it's very achievable. What about
Yeah,
you?
I definitely think that's a great message about, yes, you have that big goal of a big session or training or a big goal that you want to achieve. But I think it is important to break that down in more achievable kind of bite-sized kind of sizes for you to be able to achieve maybe each day or throughout the day. And definitely having a positive outlook makes
Yeah, and
everything so much.
evaluate your
Yeah.
performance, evaluate those positive experiences, and understand that we do have negative experiences as well that we can learn from, and this is part of life, so it's not new, and I don't feel like it is a big weight on your shoulders. Next question from Olivia. Hi Olivia, how are you? And this is for Ellen. Amy would like to know if you have any trophies. Have you got any trophies? So I've been showing off with my gold medal. Have you got any trophies, Ellen?
I haven't got them up here. I've got some there, but yeah, no, I'm very lucky to have achieved.
And modest. Tell everybody how many FA Cups you've won.
I've won 3 FA Cups, and we won one recently actually with Man City, which was incredible. We were able to kind of play at Wembley, which was amazing. It was a little bit disappointing that we won't be able to have fans, but hopefully soon, fingers crossed, we can have fans back in stadiums. But yeah, I'm really lucky to have won some trophies in my career that I'm really proud of. But this question's actually for Rich now. Nick, how many Olympic gold medals have you won? This is a good one.
2. so 2 goals. Yeah, 2 goals and 1 silver. Everybody forgets my silver at Rio. So 2 goals in 200s, 1 in London, 1 in Rio, and then I was actually 7th in the 100 meters in London, and then I thought, well, 4 years, how far can I actually take my 100 meters? Let's have a really good go at that, and push myself to the limit really, and was lucky enough to win a silver medal at Rio, which for me was like a massive achievement. Like I would say even bigger than my 200 meter gold, because I'd gone from a marathon runner running 26.2 miles to hopefully trying to win the 100 at Rio. I nearly did it.
Like this one's good for you, Rich. Miss C would like to know if you have a winning pose like Ellen. I know what it is, but everyone. I actually started it. If you didn't see it at the beginning, I did Rich's pose.
Ellen's is definitely better than mine.
No, definitely not. Actually, can I do a shout out before we do this one? I've got a shout out to Richard Bonington Primary School, and one of the questions that I really liked was, have you had any other jobs other than being a Paralympic athlete?
Oh, was that for me? Yes, I worked within teaching, worked as a sports development officer, worked as a swimming teacher, swimming coordinator. So lucky enough to be employed in those roles before I was an athlete, and that's learned me and given me the skills that I've got today, and to respect the tough challenges that we have to go through in development sport as well as elite sport as well. So those teachers out there that are really struggling to motivate those children to be more active, I understand what you're going through, and myself and Ellen are in the process of trying to address that by having our own Track and Ball podcast academy, and we're going to be looking at how we can engage more with the younger generation and provide them with the skills moving forward. So if there's an appetite for that, if there's anything that you'd like us to include in that, please push that over, and then we can make sure we address those issues. Was a question just come up then, wasn't there?
Oh yeah, this is a good one. This is from Heather Gossage from RBPS. What do you do to treat yourself during lockdown when you're having a difficult day? I like this question.
Oh yeah. Nah. Hopefully you don't mean lots of sweets and cake.
I wasn't thinking that at all. No.
I think it's really important that you're physically and mentally looking after yourself. So stretching. I've also got devices that help kind of loosen my body. But the best thing that I find is a foam roller. Those that have got those at home. It's something that you can roll on that kind of really loosens your legs and your back. But it's really important to be fit and active, but also dynamic with your movements. And so those that are at home that haven't got any equipment at home, it's really important to kind of stretch as long and as high as you can, because it'll be coming back soon. Development sport, team sports will be here very soon, and we're all looking forward to that. I know Burton Joyce girls football team that I'm actually involved a little bit with in my local village are really looking forward to getting back to playing their sided games. So. Hi Ben. Yes, so Ben is the headmaster of the school that I actually used to go to. So Ben
wow.
from Loudham here. A lot of our children are finding it hard not seeing their friends. Yeah, really important, isn't it?
Yeah.
And playing sport, exercising together at the moment. How can you best help encourage them? Els, what do you reckon?
So yeah, I mentioned that a little bit earlier. I'm feeling the same in terms of not being able to kind of see my family, my friends. Obviously, I'm very lucky to be able to kind of train and go to Man City. But I think it's important to maybe see if they can kind of chat to each other, whether you've got a device where they can kind of Zoom call each other, and they can do like a little exercise class together. And yeah, just maybe if they're just having like conversations, or I think that's important to stay connected. I know they're not able to physically see each other, but I think it's important to still trying to remain connected in some other way, really. And
I've seen lots of young people posting videos on social, whether that's YouTube, got some skills, or doing kick-ups with toilet rolls and other. You don't have to have a football to practice some of these skills. I'm not sure about you, Ellen, but I'm useless at kick-ups, especially with toilet rolls.
I'm not very good, I have to say. I'm not at all good at that, but I'd love to see some videos of people. Yes, I'd love to see people kind of trying that out. Here's my sister-in-law, which is, I think it's my niece actually. Hi, Summer. Let's put hi on girls. Hi, Sums. I hope you're okay, and Phoebe as well. Hope you're doing all right. But yeah,
loads of interaction on the chat. Keep those questions and comments coming. It's really, really nice to see international and national people from all over. Ellen, do you want to grab another question?
I've got a good one. It's from Olivia and Lydia from Redhill. I think they're sisters. And basically, I really like this one. What's your favourite pre and post match or kind of race food? I think that's a good one.
Yeah, and this changed for me a lot when I was doing marathons to sprint. So for marathons, you have to eat quite a time before you actually a race. So I'd get up really early and have like spaghetti for breakfast, and then go back to bed. Yeah, so carbo load. And then go back to bed, and then wake up and then have like some banana baguette before I'd kind of go to the start line and run 26 miles. Now it's more about just having things that I can digest, that give me that energy, that explosive energy. Love granola, love fruit and veg, love it. My little boy loves fruit and veg. I think he gets it from me, and encourage as many of you to eat as much fruit and veg as you can. And drink lots of water. Hydrate's really important. What about yourself, Els? What's your pre-match? Do you have do you eat with all the team as well, or do you eat at home?
Yeah, so we're very lucky at Man City that we're able to kind of have pre-match together. So mine would be porridge, actually. So it's got lots of carbohydrates in there to give me lots of energy for the game, and also I have like lots of fruit on there as well. So that normally gives me enough energy, and then maybe I have a little bit of flapjack and then some energy gels as well. But post match, you didn't say your post match actually, Rich, or post race?
Yeah, post anything. Well, marathon wise, anything fatty. So beef burger, pizza. Do you know when I'm a sprinter as well? I shouldn't really have pizza, but I do. I love it. I love like pepperoni pizza. So a big pizza. And also, as athletes, you have to be so kind of strict when you're competing. Then after, you can like eat anything you like. So boys and girls, when you're at home, think about those foods that you really like. Ice cream, pizza, burgers. Yeah, I eat all of that after. Not all at once. We need to have not all at once. He eats that all. Yeah, again, anything that you like, send pictures in of those as well. Really like to see what your favourite post-match snacks are from when you're playing football or cricket or athletics or gymnastics or swimming. But mine definitely is pizza.
This is another one. Richard, Megan would like to know, did you do anything other than gymnastics?
So I think my parents saw gymnastics as one of those sports that enable me to come out of my shell as an individual, and it's very inclusive sport, gymnastics, with inclusive strands, and for me, just kind of understanding what my body can do, and also the opportunities it gives me, what sport gives me. But so swimming was something that I did as well. I love sport. I as a young boy, I played a lot of football with my mates on the field, and just kind of had a kick about and kind of did lots of throwing events, so throwing javelins and balls and things. And I think one of the lessons that I learned, especially now that I've got kids myself, it's about exposure. Make sure that you are exposed to as many sports and activities as possible. And they can be structured games as well as skill-based games as well. You must have done a lot of those as you were growing up, Els.
Yeah, no, I definitely did a lot of kind of athletics. I used to pretty much do every sport going at school. We didn't actually have a girls' football team at school, so I actually played netball, which I really enjoyed. Something completely different as well for me. But yeah, like gymnastics, I did that when I was a bit younger as well. I actually did horse riding for a bit as well when I was younger.
Oh, did you?
Did
you?
And
My
then
little boy's decided to come in. Look, he's come to have a look. He's come to say hello to everybody at Track and Ball. Say hello, Andrew. He might be jumping around in the background.
Yeah, like you say, I think it is really important to try different sports, whether they are team-based, skill-based. I think it's important that you kind of expose to those different sports as well. This one's from Barbara White. Do you ever meditate or do mindfulness? I think that's a really great question.
Yeah, so I actually, before I do any of my events, I would like go into the bath and really visualise how I'm going to compete and what that's going to look like. And for me, it's really important because you can kind of get into the zone, but also understand what your expectation is on your body as well as your mind.
Yeah, I think for me, I try and do a little bit of visualization of the game and what's that gonna be like. I think it's great as well to kind of just have some peacefulness, like you say, some mindfulness as well, before, like, even you don't necessarily have to be doing exercise. It's great for just mental health, really.
Yoga's great, as well as getting into. So there's lots of different.
We both do
ways.
Pilates, don't we? And I've really got into kind of. I do Pilates kind of once a week, and then add it as well in at home. But yeah, it's a lot about breathing, taking like deep breaths, and just not thinking about anything, just taking yourself away, which is great for me.
How do you deal with critics? Woof. that's an interesting one.
I don't think we've got enough time on this podcast.
That's an interesting one. I think it's really important to understand that you will have positive and negative messages, especially through the mediums that we engage with, social media as well as interviews. And it's really important to understand that you're going to get these. So being prepared for them is important. And for me, I've always got an answer to a question before the question's asked. That's my big tip. So I've had them sometimes when I've maybe started at a race or I've not done too great. I always play on obviously we've got more opportunities in life, and not to bear too much on those negatives. Have more of a positive than a negative.
Yeah, definitely.
What about you?
I've forgotten what the question was again.
About critics. How do you deal with critics?
I think it can be challenging. Obviously, it can be quite hurtful if those messages are on social media, or if it's in journalism, that you're getting criticised for something. But I think it's not to get disheartened or get too low or get too high if something goes well. So I think it's important to kind of stay in the middle. But yeah, it is obviously challenging to have things that are, or people that are judging you. But yeah, like you say, it's just important to kind of remain quite grounded, really, and not take everything to heart, I would say.
Yeah. When we first planned to do this track and ball podcast, especially for schools and looking at mental health, I kind of jotted down some things around kind of emotional resilience, especially for children. And the things that I found were, it's really important to spend quality time with your kids. Obviously, like my little one in the background decided to join us live. And also time as well. Time's so precious at the moment, so don't rush around. Make sure that you spend that quality time with your children, and acknowledge that your own children do make mistakes, and don't vilify them for it. So they're my 3 things, really.
Yeah, I think you know, the reason we wanted to do this podcast, this live podcast, was obviously to involve kind of schools, teachers, children, and also parents, is to talk about, you know, mindfulness, mental health, and get them, you know, involved and you know, understanding us as athletes as well. You know, we're going through the similar things as everyone else. It can be quite challenging, and you know, for us, we just hope that, you know, you've taken something positive from this podcast. And you know, sorry if we haven't answered everyone's questions, but we will be answering all the questions. But yeah, we just wanted to get everyone involved, really.
Awesome. Yes. So what we'll be doing at the end of the Track and Ball podcast, we'll be summarising our questions and then answering those that have not come in. But yes, thanks for everybody's support, and don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. We've got some great speakers and guests coming up in the future. Feel free to reach out if there's anything your school or pupils would like answering from us, and we'll be supporting you the best we can.
Also, a big shout out to my niece as well, Portia. She was just saying that hi. But yeah, also, you know, we've had loads of guests on the podcast. So we've had like Becky Adlington, Tom Daly, Greg Rutherford. So if you want to check out those, you can go onto our YouTube channel, which is Track and Ball Podcast. And also, we'd love to hear who you would like us to interview next. So either comment on here or comment on our Twitter page at Track and Ball Pod, and just tell us who you'd love us to interview next, because we're really intrigued and we'll really try to interview that person or who you mentioned. So thank you so much. And yeah, sorry if we didn't answer everyone's questions, but we will be doing another video to answer everyone's questions. So yeah, just check out and keep your eyes peeled for that one. But thank you so much for joining us. I've been Ellen White.
And I've been Richard Whitehead, and that's Andrew.
Thank you, everyone.
See you all soon.
Bye.
Cross comes in. White with the header. 1-0 England. And here comes Whitehead. It's goal for Great Britain.
Awesome. That's good. Little